step in our winemaking. So here's what happened. I promised that I'm going to be sharing every step of the way, and that was my intention. I had very good intention of doing so. However, part 3 did not record. I thought I recorded it. I don't know what happened to the footage. I don't know if I deleted it accidentally or something happened, or maybe I never pressed record. I don't know. I'm not professional. So let me tell you what happened in stage 3. In part 2, when I was talking to you about, we put it in that big gigantic container, and I put a glove on, and then I made tiny hole, I think it was a pinky or middle finger, I can't remember. And I made a tiny little piercing because I wanted that CO2, that gas, to escape. So that glove was standing, I want to say, for at least a month or maybe a month and a half. And then I started seeing that the glove started kind of like going down a little bit, kind of like this. So every time I was in the basement where it's nice and cool, I would come up to the container and gently shake it or move it, gently, kind of like just agitate it. And the glove would go boom, back up again. That lasted all the way till 2 months. For 2 months that kept happening. At the end of 2 months, the fermentation stopped. The glove was no longer up, it fell down. So at that time, I strained it. And how did I strain it? So you're gonna see the same method. I used the tube by gravity. I siphoned it into a clean container, and that's what I did. So it was all siphoned into a clean container, and I put a cover on with another glove, and I put it in the basement again for aging. And the aging process took total, from the moment we made it to the moment of today when we're bottling it, 11 months. Okay, 11 months. So let me show you the final step, and I will show you how we do the siphoning, the filtration out of that big container. So some of you may ask me, why am I making alcohol? Well, let me explain. Alcohol is often used in making medicine. I'm thinking back in my family, long time ago, when my great-grandfather, who was a village doctor, they used every ounce of alcohol in their house to make medicine to treat other people. So yes, you can use homemade vinegars and homemade wine to make medicine as well, tinctures as well, okay? So that is a good way to utilize your wine. It is also a very good item to have in case you need to do any kind of networking or buttering or anything like that, where you can use it in trade. So it's a very good skill to have. So I encourage homesteaders, preppers, I encourage you guys, learn to make wine. And it's also delicious. And remember, I used only 3 ingredients: the unwashed berry with a natural yeast on it, sugar, and I used cane sugar, and I used filtered clean water. That's it. No stabilizers, no added yeast, no added emulsifiers, nothing. All natural. And it's organic because it was grown right in my backyard. Okay, so let me show you our final steps in making wine. Okay, it's time to strain this blueberry wine, and I did the same thing with my blackberry wine. So it's kind of dark, so you can't tell, but on the bottom, there's a good ½ an inch, if not more, is of sediment. And we need to strain this out away from the sediment. Now I've learned that it's best that I don't use this big container because there's a possibility of oxidation. But that's what I did, and next time I will use a smaller container. But, okay, so I need to strain it into a new vessel where it's going to be sitting. If you have bottles, you can go ahead and put them in the bottles. But I don't have any bottles left because I already used them all up for my blackberry wine. Look how beautiful this color is. Look at that. Oh my goodness, look at it. Isn't that gorgeous? So I labeled them. Blackberry wine from 2023, good year. Now we need to strain the blueberry wine as well. So this is how I'm gonna do it. You need some sort of a hose, okay? Let me grab a hose. I'll show you what I have for a hose. It needs to be cleaned and disinfected, okay? And don't laugh at me, but this is actually oxygen tubing. You know, so people who are using oxygen, this is oxygen tubing, and I cut out the piece that goes into the nose, obviously, all right? So this is disinfected, clean oxygen tubing. But you can use any kind of hose you want, plastic hose, it has to be pliable. And then I took a, I already taped that, I should have showed you. This is a skewer, okay? This is a skewer. So if the sediment is about an inch at the bottom, okay? About an inch at the bottom. So that's where I don't wanna go with my tube. I don't wanna go to the bottom because I want the sediment to be remaining in this container, okay? Then I took a regular plastic large straw, okay? And now this is how it's gonna go. I taped it to this skewer. Oops, hold on a second. So very easy peasy, it's gonna go in here. So I'm gonna put this the hose into the straw, but not all the way to the bottom because I don't wanna suck up the sediment from the bottom. It's gonna go above here, all right? So let's take this away. Let's take the cover off, and I'm gonna drop it to the bottom, and we're gonna allow gravity to assist us. So it's sitting at the bottom, I hit the bottom, okay? Now I'm gonna put a chair or something lower. Let me put a chair over here. I'm gonna put my jar here, and I need to siphon this. And you can use anything you want to siphon it, but since this is only for our own use, I'm gonna siphon it myself. Oh, it's delicious. All right, so now it's gonna go into this jar, okay? And it's gonna slowly trickle in there. And again, it's only the true blueberry wine, not the sediment from the bottom. Once it's full, I'm gonna make sure that it's filled up to the top. I'm gonna put a plastic cover on, and I'm gonna store it away, and of course it's gonna be labeled. It's best if you have bottles for it, but I don't have any bottles right now. So this is my blueberry wine. And I did the same thing with blackberry wine. And I have to say, it's a little bit boozy. It's a little bit boozy. I don't have a way of measuring how much alcohol is in it, but it's sweet, delicious, and it's very, very fragrant. So friends, I hope you are not afraid of making homemade wine. Homemade wine. All right, here it is. Okay, friends, so this is it. We need to make sure everything's labeled. I'm reusing old bottles here. And this is the color of blackberry wine, and it's very, very fragrant. Blueberry wine is much darker. Look at it. Isn't it beautiful? All right, friends. So here's my method of making wine at home in a very simple method. And I'm going to link part 1 and part 2 to this video so you guys can follow along. But anyway, it is delicious. I've tasted this wine when it was only 3 months old, and it was definitely not ripe. It tasted very sour and very fermenty, so I let it ferment much, much longer. Then I've tasted it again at, I want to say it was like 9 months, and it was the same thing. It tasted more like, almost like sweet vinegar. So now it is, this is when we set it up, okay? And now it's almost 11 months, and it's ready for bottling. So it is absolutely perfect and delicious right now. It's very important that all of the vessels are very well washed and disinfected and sterilized, as a matter of fact. So it's not very easy with the bottles. So it can be done in the oven at 212 Fahrenheit degrees, or in a microwave for a few minutes. But since these guys have metal, I couldn't put them in into the microwave. But anyway, they should be washed very well and sterilized. It's funny, like I did not sterilize this bottle because it was literally filled with 100 proof vodka previously. So I figured it was already disinfected well enough. But these jars, I definitely made sure that I disinfected them very, very well, because we don't want to grow any unwanted bacteria. Okay. And yeah, and I make sure that I use good quality caps, because I don't want anything to escape. I don't want any air to get in. So yeah, this is how I'm doing. So this one is almost filled up. So I'm going to make sure it's all the way to the top. And I know, don't make fun of me, but this is like, you know, the home version of winemaking. And I think, my friends, it's a really good skill to have. You never know when it's going to come useful for trading or for anything else. Alcohol. The only thing I need to get, so maybe I should get myself a gift. I need to get myself a way to measure how much alcohol is actually in this drink now. So again, look at this beautiful color of blackberry, and this is going to be blueberry. It's amazing. A little bit over a year ago, my husband and I went to visit Italy, and of course we went to the Tuscan country, which is, what a wonderful experience, wonderful memories. And we visited a couple of different wineries, which showed us, where they showed us how they make wine, what oak barrel they use, or clay barrel that they use. So that was really my inspiration to start making my own wine at home, because I know it's not grapes, I know that. And I know it's not Italy, I also know that. But it doesn't mean that here in New England, we don't have good wineries. And we, as a matter of fact, do have some good wineries. So I encourage you guys to take a look to see what you have in your area. And they always offer classes or seminars or just you know, tours, and where they show how they make stuff. I encourage, even if you don't consume alcoholic beverages, this can be used to make medicine. Yes, you can use this to make tinctures, or you may use it to do trading in case you need something else, some other goods, and you don't have it, and you got alcohol to trade. So I know this is not ideal. It's best if I put it in some sort of a bottle. This is way too big. This is actually what? How many cups is this? 8 cups. Yeah, so this is really big container. It's a 2-liter container, but you know, that would not be a good trading. Best if it's in a bottle like this. But still, again, I think it's a good skill to have. And I've learned this from a couple of my Russian friends who make wine at home. And then I visited a couple of local Italian gentlemen who make wine at home, and we have plenty of Portuguese people around here that make homemade wine. Let me tell you, it's a little strong, but boy, is it good. It's dripping very slowly, I think because it's running low on a big container. So I need to put the big container up higher on something to help, so the gravity helps me out a little bit. This one is filling up. It's time to switch to a new container. I know it's a slow process, but it's fun. And my kitchen smells wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Yes, to winemaking. The homesteading style. It's all right. It takes a little while, but it's okay. Look at it. Look how gorgeous this wine is. It's absolutely beautiful color. I like to leave a little note on top of the vessel to say what's in it and how much was used. So here's an example. Date when I set it first up. Blueberries, I used up 2 kilos of blueberries, 2.4 liters of water, and 1 kilo of sugar. Here is blackberries. When it was set up last July, and I've used 3 kilos of blackberries, but for some reason I didn't write down how much water I used. So hopefully it's going to be in my video, part 1 or part 2 maybe. I'm going to make sure that you guys can see those links. They're going to be in the description box, and I'll put up the link at the top as well. Hopefully you'll see it. And I used here 1.5 kilos of sugar, and I use cane sugar, non-GMO, regular white cane sugar. And I try to use also water that's not chlorinated. We have well water. So anyway, look at what we have, and more is still straining. And I know I really need to get bottles for these guys, but I have to tell you, the taste is amazing. It's really, really good. I really love it. So friends, I'm going to encourage you to make this on your own. So try something new.